Hi guys, I'm Tony from South Orange, New Jersey, and I'm here to tell you that it does get better. I guess I'll just start by giving you a little background information about myself. I go to Seton Hall University, where I am an education major, and Seton Hall University, for those of you that don't know, is a Catholic institution. I come from a highly Catholic family and a military family. My dad is a high-ranking officer in the Air Force, actually. So, and also, I am openly gay and okay with it at this point. But I wasn't always. I guess I'll start by telling you guys my story. I think I started to realize I was a little different and that something was wrong with me around maybe 16 years old. I was living overseas in Europe at the time, and I guess I went with the Christian youth group that I was a part of to a retreat in Italy, which was pretty awesome. But they had some motivational speakers there, and I was thinking to myself, oh, great, here someone's going to tell me how I'm living my life wrong and, I'm immoral, things like that. But it was actually quite the opposite. I think his name was John Wagner, so wherever you are, John Wagner, thank you for this message. But he did talk about the issue of LGBT youth and said that God loves you for who you are. So for those of you that think that religious individuals will tell you that God doesn't love gay people and that gay people are going to hell, not everybody thinks that in the religious world. Some people actually do believe that God will save everybody if you just love Him. So that was a great first message for me to hear, because then when I moved again, I was about 17, and I finally accepted by myself that I was gay. Because, I wasn't sure at the time, but at about 17 I was. I was a varsity athlete in cross country and track and soccer, so I was a little hesitant to come out to anybody, and on top of the fact, my dad held a very high position on base, and I didn't want to make him look bad. So for his sake, I actually didn't come out right away. But I told some very close friends of mine. Many of them were non-athletes, so I started out with that, and everybody was okay with it that I told. And then towards graduation, I started to tell some of my track buddies, all the guys which I had showered with before. So that was very difficult for me. But again, I got no bad reactions whatsoever, much to my surprise. In fact, some of them even asked me questions about it, because they had never met a gay person before, a gay athlete nonetheless. So especially if you are an athlete out there and you think that you're going to be living an unhappy life, you don't have to. There are gay athletes out there as well, so you are not alone. So after that, I came to college and decided, well, hey, my dad's not around. I'm in a completely new place. So I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to come out. And so at freshman orientation, we had this 3-hour diversity training. It sort of boring, but we had a game of ups and downs where you stand up when something describes yourself. And I saw on the bullet points that there's sexual orientation, and I was like, oh crap, here it comes. So, I had already told one person that I met in orientation, and I was freaking out about it, and I looked back at her, and I was like, what should I do, what should I do? And she just looked at me, she was like, just go for it. So I'm in a strange room of about 50 people that I don't know, and the sexual orientation thing comes up, and the woman is like, okay, this is a very sensitive issue, so we'll start by saying if any of you have friends that are LGBT, then stand up. And of course, more than half the room stands up. Not surprised there, because many people in our generation, I'm 22 by the way, I didn't specify that before, but many people in our generation didn't they don't really care about the LGBT thing. At least not up here in the north, in New Jersey. Um, and so I stand up for that as well. And then she says, now, for those of you that want to and feel like you're strong enough to do so, then please stand up if you do identify as LGBT. And I was the only person, besides like one of the peer leaders, I was the only person that stood up. And I was wearing baseball cap, polo shirt. I looked the like preppy jock part. I really did. I'll admit it. And people are looking around at me going like, "Oh crap, he's gay. Wow. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, honestly, no one said anything bad about it. I think at this point I was strong enough in who I was to where I just didn't care about what anybody thought. And honestly, nobody gave me any bad reactions. In fact, all I got was positive reactions afterwards. I had to do a group project with like 3 other guys in that diversity training after I had come out, and they didn't care. Like, they were completely okay with it. They talked to me, got to know me. And ever since I've come out at college, not one person has given me any problems about it. The tough part was telling my dad 2 years ago, and he was not okay with it. But, you know, you live once, and even if your parents don't accept it or if your friends don't accept it, then you just have to go and find somebody that does. And even to this day, like my dad, it's not like my dad exiled me or anything. He still talks to me, still provides for me in college. Like, he didn't just cut me off money wise, and he still loves me, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter that he doesn't agree with my lifestyle choice. It just matters that he still loves me and I still love him. And even though we disagree on that one front, we just choose not to talk about it, at least for now. I mean, it has been 2 years, and it's not like he or I have talked about it in maybe a year and a half. And he did try and get me to change. He bought me a magazine with naked women in it that I didn't even look at. He asked me to go see a priest, which I did. And I'll actually tell you that it backfired, because the priest told me that God made me the way I am and that he loves me anyway. It was just like John Wagner, that motivational speaker. So I mean, you never know where you're going to find support, and you just have to keep looking around until you do find it. And even if you don't find it, just be strong. Believe in who you are, and just know that you are the way you are, and you're not alone. People are like you. And what else should I say? Like I said, you only live once, and would you rather live your life being unhappy, or would you rather live your life being happy? I mean, it's really as simple as that. And just know that whatever situation you are in, you can get out of it, and it's your life. That's all I have to say. It's your life, nobody else's. So don't live for anybody else. Don't make decisions based on what other people think about you. Your opinion is the best opinion out there. And I guess that's all I have to say, other than it does get better.